Okay, so we're going to talk about for loops, and I'm going to explain about the deeply understanding about for loop works. I'm now going to explain how the for loops work with the variables, how the for loops works with arrays, and so forth that you can use it. So I'm going to start from beginner to advanced for loops. But most of this video is going to talk about all about for loops. As you can see here, I'm using a JavaScript right here. So if you say this is an integer for this one, for loop, the data type to the variable of I equals 0, which means this is how where you start printing. And all the way to 10, and make this to increment this to I++, console log I. As you can see, save that. You have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I found that many beginner programmers are having a trouble understanding with this. So I'm actually gonna break down for this particular thing here and make sure you feel to understand this about for loops. And I'm going to do some behind the code and behind the scenes. So as you can see, I have created an integer I equals to 0. This is how that integer I equals 0. Oops, I can see JavaScript now. So I equals to 0. Then we're gonna do some console log I is gonna output a 5, and then make it a variable again, or you want me to make it a variable. This is all again. This is not a for loop, but we want to make a same variable, which is the I equals 0. It's gonna do some I equals 0, and I equals 1, I equals 2, I equals 3, I equals 4, I equals 5, I equals 6, I equals 7, I equals 8, and I equals 9. This is going to be the same output on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and console log I. As you can see, let's see what happens. So 9. So the reason why talking about it, this is a console log. We want to console log I here. So we want to console log again. We have a console log again I here, which is very intimidating because we have to do it every single line. So console log should be console log here. Console log here again. Let's say console log here. And you have to do this all over again. But you get the idea. Let me finish this stuff. Console log I, and then console log I here. You can build a structure without the for loop statement here. Okay, so this should be it. It's going to be the same output as this one. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8, 9. Every time you logging something out, it's going to be the same as this one for loops. Okay, so we don't need this, right? It's very time consuming. It hurts a lot. So yeah. So I'm actually going to do some delete this. And we want to prefer as this. It saves a lot of time. You can do 0 and all the way to time. And you see what it's going to do. Output the same thing. 0, 1 is 0, 1. Auto 8 is 0, 1 here. If you wanted to make the 1000 or 100, you can actually do this pretty same thing, which is make it all the way to 100 in here. Okay? So this is it. All the way to make it a 100. And for this one, and I equals I plus 1 is actually pretty the same thing. because what it's gonna do is gonna each step iteration. Let's make it 5 so you guys can see, or make it 8. So let's go ahead and save that. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and all the way to 10. If you want it to be exactly all the way to 8, just put this less than or equals to 8. It's gonna do some 8 iterations, pretty much the same thing. When it comes to 2, it's going to do 2 steps in a row. So which is 2, 4, 6, 8, because we want to 2, 4, 6, 8 plus 2, added for 2 all together. Each one is 0, 1, which is 0 plus 1, which is 1, and then plus 1 and again, which is 2, because we're starting with a 0. So 0 plus 0, which is 0. And 1 plus 1 equals 2, and 2 plus 2 equals to 4. It is the same thing as 3 to plus 3. Or whatever the odd numbers are going to be, this is 3 plus 3 is equal. Pretty same logic, pretty heavily math. And in order to write this, you guys just send plus it equals to 2. Pretty much the same thing. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay? And for this one, it is not really necessarily, because the plus and 1 and plus 1 is equal. It's just incrementations. Okay? So that's why all we need to do is time. It saves a lot of time for this. Okay? And for this instance, there's a starting point here, which is the 5 here, and a 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is a 5, 6, 7, 8 in here, starting from 5, and all the way to end up to 8. Okay, so we understand this now. Hopefully you guys understand this. And for this one, we're going to make some variables. Okay, so how do we make a string in for loops in a string? So this is var str. We want to say hello here. So if I'm gonna print it all the way to for loop to 5, let's now we're gonna start from 5. Let's print and make it simple. Let's go with 6. Is that the case? So if you can see hello, hello so many times. So 7, hello, hello, hello 7 times. But a lot of people, if I put this I here, let's see what happens. If I put an index to high, which is hello, it's gonna break down for hello, hello here, which is hello 2, 2 L's in a row, and O1 in a low, because which is actually breaks down every piece of letter. That's why we need I here. I equals the variable of I here. It's going to do something pretty the same way. So this is how it is. This is how for loops and work dash and for loops. There's a lot of people are actually confused about this. And we know how to work with the string as well, but there's another thing. If you go here for string lengths, and if you want to do some I here, what's it going to do? It's gonna cut some for number, okay? Which is actually not this one. Oh, it should be length. Because remember, for string length, how many words in this? So which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5 letters in a row. So 5, we want the string I and the string line. So if I put string here, what it's gonna do is gonna help output the hello all the way to 5 here, which is the 6. Because the 6, that's why we need the -1 here. Because this one, it counts spaces. It's kind of weird, right? So if it counts spaces, we put shift -1 here. That's why we need about this arrow collector for 5. To put minus a space in here. Because it's space, when I actually do some string length, it's going to do put in space in a row. It counts as space. So that's all about it. That's all we need to do for string. And what if you make some 2 and all the way to 5 here? What's it going to do? And if I put str here, what's it going to do is some 4, because we have 4 loops in a row. So it's actually telling you 4 loops in a row. So 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 occurring 2. But if I put I here, what's going to happen? It's going to count every single letters in a row. So every single letter of the alphabet. So we're just going to say hello, low. So this one starts from 0, so 1, 2 here. and it's going to do 1, 2, 3. Same thing, but 3 LLO. So that's when you have 3 LLO here. So now you have a deeply understanding about this. So now let's go for an array here. Let's say I wanted to make a random number, and I wanted to make a 0 here, which is 6. And we want to make this, call this array. If I put array here, what it's going to do is going to print this, right? Because we're printing arrays in here just only for the array. So it's going to do 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to do this the same thing in array. But if I put I in here, what it's going to do is going to loop through an array because we want some I here, index of I. So we have a loop through 1, 2, 3, each one of these index in an array here. And so you can see 2, 4, 5, 7. That's why even if 2, 4, 5, 7, it doesn't care about how much it defined because 3 in defined because we are all the way to 6. That's why we need to put the r.length. r.length here. As you can see, I have it undefined here because spacing, it counts as a last spacing. That's why we need -1 here. Save that, so 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is when we need the last spacing in rounds. Trying to avoid spacing, that's why we need -1. And for this thing, that's for an nth line, okay? But it is same as how many numbers are in an array? 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 to 4, right? So 0 to 4 is going to output pretty much the same thing, exactly going to be the same thing, which is a 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But the space and error, so we want to -1 again here. Actually, pretty much the same thing to -1. That's why we need to put array.length because we don't want to guess how much in an array. So that's why how many lengths in an array, how many numbers in an array in here. Or is this one? The 1. If we put an index, what it's going to do it's going to print every single array here once again. This is 4. That's why we need 4 here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this is the indexes, the number of indexes, and then the how many numbers of the elements, which is the length 4 here. That's why it's going to do length 4. Pretty much the same functionality on for loops as well. So 4, pretty much the same thing. It's going to do some pretty much the same output. But I highly recommend this too. Okay, so let's just move on. Let's try a little bit harder. So what if I have a for loop var I equals to 5, and this one you have a 0 here, and I minus. Let's try this. So what it's going to do is starting from 5, and I decrement it. It's going to move 5 minus 1. This is -1 here, -1. And what's 5 minus 1, which is 4. 4 minus 1, which is 3. This is the point is here. This is what a point. This is called decrementation. And all the way to 0. We want to all the way to 0. But if you want all the way 0, that's what we need to consider. It's a function. So this is where you need to do this. Okay. So 0 equals to 0. Pretty much the same logic of the for loops as well. And a lot of people got confused. Where does actually I come from? No, it's just a variable. You can call it J. You can call it whatever you want. Make sure you put the 0. This is J on it. Right? Pretty much the same thing. It's just a variable you can do. But I highly recommend I because a lot of programmers use I as a variable inside of for loops in here. Okay? And for this one, it's the same thing as here. I minus 1. Okay? Just the I minus 1, you can do pretty much the same thing. Just what I told you in the first video, the part of the video actually. 5, 4, 2, 1, 1. If you do this, are pretty much the same thing. If you want to do -2, what's 5 minus 2? which is actually going to be 3. So let's go ahead and move on. This 5, starting from here, is going to be 3. Let's see what happens. See, 5 minus 2, which is 3. This is how we need incrementations and decrementations as well. It's very important to learn. Okay, for the last thing is, what if you make a string here, which is called hello, and make it an array here, which is called 1, 2. Let's make it a little different. Let's go, we have set. Okay, so what it's gonna do is we want to loop through this. How do you loop through? The same logic as here. It's pretty simple. All we need to do is just put the starting point length. If you want to make a little bit turnover, you can actually do that. So don't forget the spacing. This is have spacing here, and I equals 0. That's correct. And let's see what happens. String here. I. So ole. So this is gonna do some reverse the string to ole, right? So how we do some reversing string, because it's starting from, we reverse it in here. Just pretty much do this the same thing as here. Also, I need to do some -1. If you don't put an index, this is pretty much the same thing. It's gonna do ole, 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 right? See, hello, 5 times in a row, but it doesn't make sense, right? But 0 once, 0 once. You can do some 5 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 5 iterations. If I put array length here, what it's going to do is we have array I. Okay, so if we say array I here, we have array have set undefined. That's why we need -1 here, because spacing it counts on the first place at the end. So we got some sit, have, and sit here. What if we remove this index? You guys, some sit, have, sit right here. Okay, so this is all the for loops is going to be about. It's a little bit serious, but it's not actually not. I give you some that's not an example and trying to bring you logically on for loops as well. So if you can save this, these are the runtimes.